Welcome to day 3 of Hebrew 2. We are reading today Genesis 2, 10 through 13. Um, do take time to study the 10 vocabulary words for the quiz today. I'll not require you to take the quiz, I'll just take your word for it, but make sure you learn those 10 words. So what we'll do is look at the translation in Genesis 2, 10 through 13. And if I can just bring up Logos here, I need to get this monitor where it's responsive. So let me just do that. Need one more change, I think, here. Yes. So we're doing Genesis 2:10, and we'll go through 13. So, and a Nahar, so this is a river, and you can see was going out from Eden. So the river starts in Eden and then it goes out from Eden to water. So this is infinitive construct. It's Hiphial. That's why you have the H there. To water. Hagan, the garden. So it's this Garden of Eden. Eden means pleasure. And let me see if I can pull this up on the root, and we can do Bible word study. That's my grandson in the background. You can see delight, pleasure, joy, delicacy, finery, pleasant, voluptuous living, delicacy, luxury. So very interesting word. And so it's the Garden of Eden. And from there, and notice this is going to be a nifal, and Akot tells us, so it's a nifal imperfect, third masculine singular. So the river goes out from Eden to water the garden, and from there it was divided. So the river was divided, and it turned into 4 heads. And so it seems like the easiest explanation is that one river splits. So normally that isn't the way rivers work, except in deltas. You don't have a river that splits into multiple rivers, but this one splits. We're probably on good ground when we do a whole Bible biblical theology and see that in the prophets you have a description of a Jerusalem river that splits on several different passages. And so this is that theme elsewhere in Scripture of Eden and Jerusalem's connection, I would think. So it turned into 4 heads. The name of the Echad, so name of the first one, is the Pishon. And P looks like mouth, but no idea what shone means. And nobody else really knows anything about this word. So the first river is bafflingly obscure, but it does say that it went all around the land of Havilah. And Havilah is mentioned elsewhere in the Old Testament, and it's somewhere near Israel. So it talks about, pursuing someone to Havilah, from Shur to Havilah. So somewhere near Israel. And this river, the Pishon, goes all around that land. And there is gold there. So this is part of that tabernacle idea, gold, bdellium, and onyx in the tabernacle. And we're going to see gold, bdellium, and onyx in these rivers. So the first one we know very little about. It's related to a place near Israel, but that's kind of the extent of what we know, and that there's gold. And then it says, and the gold of the land. So this gold, see, that's a construct, and you can see you've had a reduction in the vowel there. They don't give the lexical form, but the accents kind of help us. The gold of the land, that one, the gold of that land is good. There is bedolach there, and bedolach is bdellium. We don't really know what bdellium is. That root badal we've seen already several times in our readings in chapter 1 is the word separate. So perhaps this word is related to some kind of separation. We are told that manna looks like bdellium. And so whatever bdellium is, if we knew what bdellium was, we would know what manna looked like. But again, since manna is in the Ark of the Covenant, the idea that this perhaps is some kind of temple, tabernacle language seems to be a pretty good idea. And then the stone of the onyx is there. And of course, the high priest has the onyx stone as part of the breastplate. 13, and the name of the river, the second one. So see, they both got the definite article, doubling Dagesh. The river, the second one, is the Gihon. It is going around all the land of Cush. A couple of things to notice here. Gihon is only appears in one other place in the Bible, and I can pull up here. And the place it appears, it's where Solomon is anointed king. These are the only two places where the Gihon appears. And there, clearly this is somewhere near Jerusalem. And that's why Jewish people will connect Eden and Jerusalem. So sometimes Hebron is in the mix, but the idea that somehow Eden's location was somewhere connected to Jerusalem. We also notice that when we look at the translation of this in the Septuagint, so if we pull that up, what we see is that the Septuagintal writers follow the use of Cush elsewhere, and if I go to 13 here, you can see they're doing Cush as it is elsewhere in the Bible, Ethiopia. And Moses' wife was an Ethiopian. She was a Cushite. I'm a little unclear in this story whether that's a second wife or it's calling his first wife Cushite. My hunch is that his first wife has left, and then the marriage for which he's criticized is the second one, and she's from Cush. Well, if Cush is Ethiopia, then Moses is being chastised for marrying a Cushite, and he ends up praying for Miriam, and Miriam, who had been struck with leprosy because of the criticism, is forgiven. And so all that plays into the idea that this second river is, it seems like it's talking about the river of Egypt, the Nile. And of course, the Nile flows from south to north, and we are looking for a river north to south. And so it seems like maybe there's going to be some kind of change in geography, but the idea of the Garden of Eden being somewhere in Israel, this Gihon would favor that, given that the only two places of the word appear are here in Eden, and then with the river where David wants Solomon anointed king. And when you step back and look at a whole Bible biblical theology, you do have a river coming out of eschatological Jerusalem. Joel teaches that, Zechariah teaches that, perhaps Psalm 46 teaches that, certainly Ezekiel 47 teaches that, and of course Ezekiel 47 is picked up in Revelation 21, where John describes the tree of life, the river of life. And so all of this is connected to the idea of these rivers of Eden. So that's our passage. It's a short little passage, but it's important in Scripture. I would keep reading the passage until you can read it without a cot. And if you take time to examine the parallel accounts, it is interesting that the minor prophets and Ezekiel may be picking up this section and explaining it. So I hope you have a great time reading on Thursday, and or on Wednesday, and I will look forward to seeing you face to face on Friday. Thanks.